The bounty for gaming tycoon Atong Ang is being raised to 20 million pesos. Ang is wanted for kidnapping charges in connection with the disappearance of at least 34 sabongeros between 2021 and 2022. In a press briefing on Thursday, February 12, Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla says the reward money will come from the confidential funds provided to the Philippine National Police and the Department of the Interior and local government.
We are increasing the bounty for Atong Ang to 20 million pesos for information leading to his arrest. Seryoso kami dito 20 million pesos information leading to his arrest. Kung tiyatan nyo kung saan nangagaling yan sa mga confidential funds provided to the PNP at saka sa DILG para sa mga ganong klaseng kaso.
Tingin nyo,
Walang walang GPP atos dito Totoong tao babayaran namin dito kung makita namin.
Whistleblower Julie Patadongan pointed to Ang as the mastermind behind the kidnappings, alleging that the sabongeros were killed and their bodies were thrown into Taal Lake. Patadongan claimed Ang had fled to Cambodia long before a warrant for his arrest was issued, prompting Remulla to send a liaison officer to the country to verify his whereabouts. Over the weekend, the Cambodian government said Ang was not there. Remulla says they believe Ang is still in the Philippines.
We are studying it. We really believe andito pa siya sa Philippines. We have points of interest na sila General Tatis may alam kung nasaan. So the manhunt is going on. Kung pumatay ka ng 100 tao at may bilyon-bilyon kong pesong pera nakatago at kala mong hindi ka accountable sa batas, may darating rin yung araw mo. Darating rin yung araw mo. Kailangan harapin mo yung ginawa mong mali.
Ang's camp previously challenged the court order to arrest him, maintaining that the warrants were premature and legally questionable. The Department of Justice confirms a third arrest warrant has been issued against gaming tycoon Atong Ang in connection with the disappearance of sabongeros. DOJ spokesperson Attorney Polo Martinez says on Thursday, February 12, that the branch clerk of court of San Pablo Laguna Regional Trial Court Branch 29 has already confirmed the existence of the court order. The arrest order stems from the charges of kidnapping with homicide and kidnapping with serious illegal detention, which is a non-bailable offense. The cases were scattered in 3 different courts across Laguna and Batangas. The Santa Cruz Regional Trial Court in Laguna and the La Paz City Regional Trial Court in Batangas earlier issued their own arrest orders for Ang and his co-accused. Meanwhile, the National Bureau of Investigation says its operatives failed to serve an arrest warrant in 2 Cavite properties linked to Ang. NBI spokesperson Palmero Malyari says agents visited 2 properties in Dasmariñas, Cavite, owned by Ang's children, based on information that the businessman may still be communicating with his children. However, Ang was not found during the operation. Still, the NBI insists that Ang is likely in the Philippines, otherwise its operatives would not continue going around the country in search of the tycoon. With Ang's whereabouts still unknown, Malyari urges the fugitive anew to surrender immediately. Senate President Tito Sotto will not let the Chinese embassy's latest remark against him pass. In a message to reporters on Thursday, February 12, Sotto says it's usually considered annoying when someone triggers you to react and you don't. He then says he prefers to be what he describes as annoying. Sotto was asked about the Chinese embassy's latest statement directly addressed to the Senate President after he countered China's criticisms against Senate Resolution No. 256. Approved by the Senate on Monday, February 9, the resolution condemned China's tirades against Filipino officials and politicians defending the country's sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea. Embassy spokesperson Ji Limpeng rejected the measure, saying it was nothing but a political stunt. In response on Tuesday, February 10, Sotto noted Ji's claim that Philippine officials were intimidating Chinese diplomats, yet Ji continued to speak disrespectfully and called the Senate resolution a mere political stunt. The Senate leader emphasized that respect begets respect. Then on Wednesday, February 11, Ji hit back, noting that a Philippine senator had told Chinese diplomats during a plenary session to leave. Ji also objected to senators describing China as a bully and referring to the Chinese embassy as a bad guest or a troll farm. Meanwhile, Senator J.V. Ejercito denies Ji's claim that some senators have been threatening and intimidating the embassy, noting a proposal to declare Chinese diplomats persona non grata. Sotto earlier floated the possibility of declaring Chinese embassy deputy spokesperson Guo Wei persona non grata. Ejercito laments that Chinese officials in the country, citing in particular Ambassador to Manila Jing Chen, have been hostile when they should have been fostering camaraderie between the 2 countries. He reiterates his call to replace the ambassador. While he did not back the resolution against China, Senator Robin Padilla stands by the Senate and the actions of his colleagues. Padilla echoes President Bongbong Marcos's firm and diplomatic approach towards China amid territorial disputes between the 2 nations. Beijing asserts sovereignty over most of the South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea. But the 2016 arbitral award effectively dismissed China's sweeping claim, upholding the Philippines' sovereign rights. After a successful launch in the provinces, the Department of Agriculture says that it's planning to bring the 20 peso per kilo rice program to all parts of Metro Manila. The DA earlier held a meeting with the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority and Metro Manila local government units to fast-track and harmonize the program's implementation. In a statement on Thursday, February 12, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. says the DA plans to establish at least 5 Benteng Bigas outlets in every LGU in Metro Manila. He adds that the program aims to bring affordable rice closer to constituents, ensuring the vulnerable sectors are directly served. According to the DA, the full-scale expansion is expected to be completed by the end of March 2026, aligning with the start of the peak harvest season in several rice-producing provinces. For its part, the MMDA pledges logistical and monitoring support. MMDA Chief Don Artes vows to actively track LGU compliance and ensure broader reach. The expanded Metro Manila rollout will prioritize senior citizens, solo parents, persons with disabilities, and beneficiaries of Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program or 4Ps. It will also cater to minimum wage earners, members of tricycle operators and drivers associations, farmers, fisherfolk, and other qualified groups.